In the studio today, we have Dell's new Alienware 16 Area 51 gaming laptop. A new design for 2025, Alienware have completely redesigned their premium 16-inch gaming laptop. And it's got this beautiful liquid teal outer shell. It's got a new cryo chamber with Gorilla Glass panel, showing off those internals and RGB lights in the fans, with its subtle new RGB rear grille lighting, and fitted with the latest Intel 275HX CPU and NVIDIA 5000 range of graphics cards. All in a compact chassis for gaming on the go, so let's go. Hi, this is David at Mash IT, and welcome to our review of the Alienware 16. And here it is, the compact 16-inch model, which looks exactly like the Alienware 18, but was hit with a shrink ray. Now this new model that we're reviewing has the Intel 275HX 24-core CPU that can boost right up to 5.4 GHz. It's also got an RTX 5080, 32GB of 6400 DDR5 fast RAM, a 2TB Gen 5 superfast SSD, Wi-Fi 7, and that 16-inch 2560 by 1600 240Hz display. Now this model's not cheap though, coming in the UK at £3,500. So we've already done an unboxing on this laptop, so I'm going to link that in the description down below. Plus I'm also going to link the Alienware 18 review just in case you missed that one too. But just in case you've missed those videos, let's take a quick look around this model. So here she is, and it is absolutely beautiful. This is the liquid teal colour that Alienware are providing this year, and it's very subtle, but depending on the light, it looks absolutely stunning. Hopefully my camera can pick that up and do it justice. I'm really liking the styling that Alienware have used this year. Now we have the liquid teal outer shell, and flipping it over we can see the cryo chamber with the Gorilla Glass. But I'm going to warn you now straight away, and you probably see this, you're going to need your cleaning cloth because this thing is a fingerprint magnet. And this glass, honestly, just picking up and handling it for this review, I'm constantly cleaning it, but it does look amazing. Now with regards to the lighting zones, let's fire it back up. Obviously we get the lit alien head as we get with normal Alienware, but we now have this new subtle strip for the coloured lighting on the back. Now this can be changed colour in Alienware Command Center, and it comes as a sort of a nice sort of blues and purples out of the box. I've changed it to my favourite rainbow wave, and I think it looks absolutely stunning. It is really subtle, and it's not glaring in your face like previous Alienwares. But the advantage of that is you can easily still see these rear ports. Now talking of rear ports, most of the ports of this laptop are in the rear. We do have the actual full-size memory card slot and headset jack on the side. Everything else is in the rear of this laptop. So just do it quickly. Power supply, HDMI 2.1, 2 Thunderbolt 5s, and 3 USB-As. So a great range of ports. The one that is missing in my mind on a laptop of this size is the RJ45. I don't think there's any reason that they couldn't have included an RJ45 on the rear of this panel. There's definitely space. And even the new Aurora cheaper range, which is slimmer than this, comes with an RJ45. Being a gaming laptop, that's a bit of a miss for me. Now this is quite a compact 16-inch chassis, but it is chunky heavy. The build quality is fantastic, but wow, you're gonna feel that carrying it around. Let me just quickly weigh that so you can see the weight of this unit. So just under 3.3 kilograms, that's quite a weight for a 16-inch laptop. But this is a dense gaming laptop, and it's powering some serious components under the hood, so you can kind of understand why they have made this quite a tanky beast. So opening the actual laptop itself, the hinges are nice and firm, and the screen goes back a fair distance. There's no wobble in that screen when you're typing. It does feel really high quality. The actual palm rest itself is also liquid teal and fits in nicely with the rest of the design. But the trackpad is glass and it lights up, which is absolutely stunning. And again, I've got the rainbow wave on here. Looks amazing, tracks amazingly, but is a little bit small for my liking. That's mostly because they've got this massive grille along the top here for air intake, shoving this all forward. Also means you don't have very deep palm rests. Now the keyboard is a per key backlit design. Again, I've got that rainbow wave. And it comes with either the dome keyboard, which I've got here because I wanted my UK with the UK Enter key, or you can choose the Cherry MX red mechanical keyboard, and that one is absolutely amazing, and it costs just a few extra pounds to order that one if you want it. Being that this is a 16-inch laptop, we have a standard keyboard without a number pad, but you do get some extra command keys on the end, and I have found these very useful. We've got the mute mic, mute speakers, and the volume control. That I'm finding I'm using quite regularly, and it's really handy to have there. The typing pressure and the typing feel is amazing on these keyboards. Alienware keyboards are probably my favourite laptop keyboards on the market. Now, either side of the keyboard itself, we've got the speaker grills, and the speakers sound like this. Speaker test of the Alienware 16 Area 51, starting at 50% volume. And now 80%. And finally 100%. So there we go. The quality seems very similar to the Alienware 18, but it didn't get anywhere near as loud. But overall, they're not too bad. Then, as I mentioned, up above we've got that intake venting for the air intake on this laptop, because there's not a massive amount of intake underneath. And you can just about see the lighting on the fans in through that grille there. It's really quite a nice touch. Now, as we move up to the screen, we've got that 2560 by 1600, 240 Hz, 500 nit IPS panel. Now, straight away, I know a lot of people could be moaning that on an expensive laptop like this, why are they still using IPS? They could be using OLED. And whilst I do agree, I think it should have been nice to have the option for an IPS and an OLED. There is some definite advantages to this. There's no glare because it is an anti-glare model. And I find having gamed on this for quite a while now, it's a very comfortable screen to game on. It is nice and fast and responsive. There's a little bit of IPS glow when you first boot the machine, but once you're into Windows, I don't notice anything. But another thing other than the actual panel technology is it does have quite large bezels around the sides of the screen. Very strange that in 2025 they're still using quite large bezels, especially when you look at the XPS range, which are pretty much bezel-less, but it is a solid unit. But maybe with Dell here, it's function over aesthetics. And I think this is something that Dell have really tried to prioritize this year with actual just the usability of these laptops. The fact that they've used rounded edges all around the laptop, and the fact that we've obviously got all of these things that make it a comfortable using experience rather than the latest and the greatest and the prettiest out there. Anyway, enough of that. Let's quickly take a look at the new 4K webcam that's up above the screen. So this is a test of the webcam and the microphones on the new Alienware 16 Area 51. This is the upgraded 4K webcam. Let me know what you think of the quality of this one down in the comment section down below. Does this really feel like a 4K webcam? Love to know your thoughts. And it does also include Windows Hello facial recognition, which is my favourite way of logging into Windows. So now that we've looked around this laptop, let's crack it open and look at the internals. Now, like the 18-inch model that we've just removed, you need to remove 4 base screws and then undo the 4 front screws on the bottom of this laptop. Then you're going to need a pry tool to unclip right way around the base panel. Now, it is straightforward, but it does take a little time. Then you just lift the cover away from the laptop to reveal those tasty internals. Now, straight away, we can see the same large 96 watt-hour battery that we had in the bigger brother 18. We also get 2 fast DDR5 SODIMM slots covered by Mylar covers to keep it nice and cool. Also, despite being more compact 16-inch model than the 18-inch, we still get the 3 M.2 SSDs that we also got with the Alienware 18. Now, the primary drive is a Gen 5 drive, and I've actually ordered a Gen 5 SSD with mine, and the other 2 are Gen 4 slots. Now, the Gen 5 drive that Dell have provided is blisteringly fast and well worth the few extra pounds they charge for that option. Now, sadly, the Wi-Fi card is soldered on, and in usual Alienware fashion, the motherboard's inverted, so if you want to repaste this laptop, you're going to need to completely remove the motherboard to get to it. Now, with the 16-inch though, you can take the fans out, which you couldn't do on the Alienware 18. Right, so let's just put this laptop back together and check out the performance. Now, this Alienware 16-inch laptop has the same Intel 275HX as the larger Alienware 18 we reviewed recently, but putting that hot processor into this smaller laptop has some consequences. Now, running Geekbench 6 benchmark, the single core score is great, which leads to snappy Windows and app use, and the multi-core score is very fast as the other 275HX chips that we've tested, but this is a very short run. But when we fire up that nasty Cinebench R23 and R24 10-minute torture test, things aren't so rosy. When the CPU is let loose in either the balance performance or overdrive performance, the CPU is given up to 175 watts, similar to the Alienware 18. Though unlike the Alienware 18, this little laptop cannot handle it, and it quickly hits 105C. This leads to the CPU throttling back and it scores lower than its bigger brother. Now I have included a list here for how each of the profiles behave, and you can see that on all but the quiet mode, which caps the wattage, we're getting those insanely high temps. Now for anyone that does hate the CPU hitting 105C, you can use the TCC offset in Alienware Command Center to cap the CPU at a maximum of 80 degrees C. This keeps the temperatures in check at the expense of a little performance. Now moving over to the graphics performance, and the RTX 5080 we have here is a 175 watt TGP model with advanced Optimus, G-Syncs and a dedicated mux switch in Alienware Command Center, though that does require a reboot. Now running TimeSpy, the scores are about where we would expect for a laptop of this spec, but the GPU score is slightly behind the Alienware 18 and the Legion Pro 7i. Now before we move on to the gaming tests, I want to mention the Alienware Command Center. Now if you watched any of my previous videos, you know that I'm not a big fan of Alienware Command Center, but this year at least it's been very stable. The profiles work well and can be done on a system-wide or per game basis, and Dell gives you a few profiles to choose from. Now although the system fans never actually turn off, in either idle or light use, the quiet and the balance mode are very quiet. But if you use that overdrive profile, the fans will instantly ramp up to 100% to get the maximum performance out of your laptop, and that's pretty loud. Also in the Alienware Command Center, you can access all your lighting settings and any other Alienware peripherals that you actually have. So we are actually getting to a point where I'm not going to recommend it, but it's okay. So now let's get on with the gaming. I'm firing up the finals because I'm still absolutely obsessed with it. I've tested every single profile. Now, all the profiles were completely playable in gaming. The quiet mode allows 100 watts on the graphics card and 40 watts to the CPU, and allows the fans to spin quietly at only 39 decibels. When we move up to the balance profile, the GPU is allowed up to 155 watts and the CPU up to 80 watts, but at a much louder 50 decibels. When we move it to the performance mode, we get the maximum 175 watt TGP and over 100 watt CPU if it's thermally able to. This is pretty loud at 54 decibels. And then lastly, the overdrive mode gives you the same power levels as that performance mode, but the fans are always at 100% at 60 decibels, so performance is a little better. With regards to the temps, this system does run pretty warm. The WASD keys felt warm to the touch, as did the middle of the keyboard. And the hot air pumping out either side of the laptop was also really warm. I did find this slightly bothersome on my actual mouse hand, and I did not get the same experience when I was gaming on the Alienware 18. But other than a bit of a heat, it was a great gaming experience. And if that 105C temp bothers you, set the TCC to 80, as I hardly notice any difference in gaming performance. So with gaming out of the way, let's talk about battery life. This has a large 96 watt-hour battery, but as always with Intel laptops, battery life is not great. We ran our usual battery test streaming YouTube over Wi-Fi at 200 nits of brightness at 60 Hz with stealth mode activated in best efficiency mode, and the results were pretty disappointing, just like they were with the Alienware 18. Still, the performance on battery is great and the laptop feels really snappy just as when you're on mains. And although the included 360 watt PSU is very large and heavy carrying it around with this laptop, it is also capable of PD charging, so you can use it with a USB-C charger instead in a pinch. Now, the CPU performance over power delivery was brilliant, so working, browsing, media consumption is absolutely fine just using a USB-C, but gaming over power delivery was absolutely terrible. So then on to my conclusion, and what do we think about the Alienware 16? If I hadn't just reviewed the Alienware 18, I think I would be absolutely in love with this laptop, but the Alienware 18 has just so much better thermals, so that does make it really difficult for me recommending this one after just reviewing that one. If you're looking for a portable gaming laptop, then yeah, it's a good 16-inch with great performance. The high temps are a little bit bothersome, but the fan noise isn't bad and the profiles work really well, and I actually do like the anti-glare screen for just my day-to-day gaming. I've got the glossy on the Razer Blade 16 and that does bother me when I'm out in any brighter room. But the biggest elephant in the room is the price. This is an expensive laptop and there's a lot of other competition around for this sort of price. So I have to be honest, in my opinion, you might be better off served with maybe the Legion Pro 7i, a Razer Blade 16, or pushing up to that Alienware 18. I think that's where I'm actually sitting at the moment. But as always, I'd love to know what you guys think. What do you think of this Alienware 16? Would you consider one of these? Or would you go for the bigger brother, the Alienware 18? Pop a comment down below and I will get back to you. And as always, thanks for watching.